Praises to the Most High, whose true name in the ancient Hebrew is Yahweh, in the name of his only begotten Son, whose true name in the ancient Hebrew is Yahweh Shai, who is our Lord and Savior, and the Holy Spirit, which in the ancient Hebrew is the Ruach HaKodesh. Double honors to the elders of GMS, who taught us this truth by the Holy Spirit. Honors to the brothers risking their life and freedom to push the gospel. Peace and blessings to the elect, who consist of the so-called Negroes, Latinos, Native Americans, who make up the lost 12 tribes of Israel, according to scripture and prophecy. The elect will be 1/3 of the Israelites, who in these last days are returning back to Yahweh Bahashem, Yahweh Shai for salvation. And this lesson will be titled Glittering Spear and Glittering Spears, Bright Arrows equals World War III, the nuclear destruction of America. Glittering Spear and Bright Arrows equals World War III. Something like that. Um, got a video from the brother GMS Babylon is Fallen. Did a lesson going into a lady's dream or vision of World War III and America being attacked, which is all according to Bible prophecy. So we're going to listen to the dream, give precepts here and there, and make comments. Because a lot of the things that were said, a lot of the word choices she used come right from the scriptures. People don't get it when we say it, but people seem to get it when they hear it elsewhere. And it only makes sense. It's really common sense. And I got some visuals to show what this the fuck is this talking about. To show what the scriptures are saying. So let's get started with this video.
Hello, my friends. Thank you so much for joining me today. I wanted to share with you a night vision that I was given on Friday, June 26th of 2026. And I would like to just get right into it and share it with you because it was very intense and I really thought it was real. I really thought it was happening. It was something that I lived through in this vision, and I just think that it's worth sharing it with you. I think what I wrote down here. Now, it looked like my home that I live in now, in real life, the back doors. I could hear sounds coming. I could tell my dog also wanted to go and investigate what was see anyone, but somehow I knew that Russia was watching us or surveilling us. I was on high alert in my spirit. I felt that something big was coming. I could hear radio static in the background and noise coming through, but again, there was an expectancy that something was going to happen. I could feel that I was being watched. So you know how when they're doing nuclear codes, it usually sounds staticky and they're saying, you know, letters and numbers and different things like that. That's what it sounded like to me, was that kind of radio static noise. Anyway, I'm standing in the backyard near my back door and I start to hear something in the air. I observed as a humongous object that looked like the body of an airplane without wings and without a tail was flying very low on my alley. So think fence and then alley. It's flying very low right behind my fence on top of my alley, from the left to the right or from the south to the north. I was immediately alarmed, and next thing I know, in the far distance to my right, the missile looking object hit the ground and a big bright light explosion ensued. I didn't see fire or smoke per se, I just saw a big bright explosion.
And that's because light travels faster than sound or physical objects. So you're going to always see the bright light first. The dust and the smoke and the sound going to always come after. But if you that close when it happens, you're gonna be too blinded anyway to see dust and smoke. So the dust and smoke always follows after. It's just light travels faster.
I ran inside frantically, yelling to my adult son, "Oh no, something has happened, something has happened." I went back outside and saw that World War III had started.
And World War III already started. Just because America ain't been attacked yet, don't mean that it ain't started. It's just the war ain't expanded to that point yet. But that's where you got Russia at it with Ukraine, the Middle East against Israel and America. I just saw that now Saudi Arabia is going to join the war against Iran and its proxies. For now, Ukraine just attacked Iran for what? They figure if they help the U.S. against Iran, that America will help them, Ukraine, against Russia. So these different wars gonna merge into one big all-out war, World War III. It don't just start off nuclear. That's not just something somebody with sense want to do. Russia not in a rush to cause nuclear destruction. Neither is China, North Korea, Iran. That's why everybody's been patient with America. And it's really just the Lord's mercy. But America's mercy about to run out. And World War III don't start off nuclear. It's a build up to that point. And we gonna get there. But yeah, World War III started already, and that's what's wrong with America. They think themselves to be in good case because life seems to be normal while all hell is breaking loose everywhere else. But the war gonna intensify, it's gonna spiral out of control, and it's gonna end with America being destroyed.
I could see arrows in the sky coming from every direction.
You heard that? She could see arrows in the sky coming from every direction. Now, what is she talking about? Arrows. So she's talking about World War III, but at the same time, she's talking about arrows. Well, let's see what the scriptures say, because these arrows was coming from everywhere, according to her. But that's according to the scriptures. This is the book of Jeremiah, chapter 50, verse 14. Put yourselves in array against Babylon round about, all ye that bend the bow. Shoot at her. Who is this her? Um, Babylon the great whore, Lady Liberty, the United States, America. All you that bend the bow, meaning all you countries that got nuclear capabilities, you got intercontinental ballistic missiles, you got hypersonic missiles, or Russia gave you some missiles, shoot at her. Spare no arrows, meaning what? Shoot everything you got. These countries, even America's allies, they gonna shoot everything they got. Spare no arrows, spare no missiles. They, for she hath sinned against the Lord. And that's what the lady saw.
Something has happened. I went back outside and saw that World War III had started. I could see arrows in the sky coming from every direction.
Because the arrows or the missiles, they're going to come from China, North Korea. They're going to come from Europe. They're going to come from Brazil, Cuba. They're going to come from the oceans. Russia, they got doomsday submarines. Could be anywhere in the world at any given time. North Korea, they got submarines strapped with nuclear missiles and torpedoes. So yeah, when America get attacked, it's gonna get attacked from all sides. And we gonna jump here since she used that word arrow. This is the book of Second Ezra, chapter 16, verse 13. For strong is his right hand that bendeth the bow. His arrows that he shooteth are sharp and shall not miss. This is not a regular bow and arrow. When it says it's sharp, that goes into the accuracy. Like if somebody is a sharp shooter, that goes into the accuracy. And the sharp can mean to penetrate. Not penetrate flesh, but penetrate America's missile defense system. It's gonna get through. It's gonna breach or penetrate America's defenses. For strong is his right hand. Who's the right hand of the Lord? His son, Yahweh Shah. So the nations, yeah, they created these missiles, but really these are the Lord's weapons. And Lord willing, that precept will come out. His arrows that he shooteth are sharp and shall not miss. They gonna get here. When they begin to be shot into the ends of the world. Meaning what? They're gonna be shot from one end of the world to the other. From the eastern hemisphere to the western hemisphere. From Russia to America. From China to America. From Europe to America. Shot from one end of the world to the other. What kind of arrow can go that far? Missiles, hypersonic missiles, intercontinental ballistic missiles. Behold, these plagues are sent and shall not return again until they come upon the earth. The fire is kindled. That fire is World War III. And shall not be put out till it consume the foundation of the earth. You see that? The fire is started. World War III is started and it's not going to stop until the war, the nuclear destruction, the fire destroy the earth to the foundation. Now the missiles not going to destroy the whole earth, but the Lord and his angels, they going to come back in the middle of World War III too. And they got their own kind of fire, laser beams that they going to send to the earth to consume the earth to its foundation, cleansing the earth.
Some overlapped one another, and they were even different colors. The lines in the sky reminded me of light
She said they were different colors.
arrows in the sky coming from every direction. Some overlapped one another, and they were even different colors.
They were even different colors. That's straight from the scriptures. This is the book of Revelation, chapter 9. We're going to start at verse 15. And the four angels were loose, which were prepared for an hour and a day and a month and a year for to slay the third part of man. So you got angels being talked about here that's being prepared for a year, a month, a day, and an hour. Pretty much talking about when the doomsday clock hits midnight, nuclear destruction, nuclear Armageddon. And the number of the army of the horsemen were 200,000. And I heard the number of them. So you got the angels. Now it's talking about horsemen. These will be the missiles. Because the missiles are described as horses marching to battle. As you got all these missiles flying to America as if they're marching to battle. That's what she said. The arrows were all over the sky. They like horses marching to battle. And thus I saw the horses in a vision. This is a metaphor. It's not literal. And them that sat on them. Because the angels that was prepared to slay the third part of man, they're going to be controlling the missiles. That's why 2nd Ezra 16:13 said, the arrows that he shooteth are sharp and shall not miss. So yeah, man is going to launch the missiles, but the angels going to be controlling them, that they don't miss. And them that sat on them having breastplates of fire, a jacinth, and brimstone. And the heads of the arrows, the heads of horses were as the heads of lions. And out of their mouth issue fire, smoke, and brimstone. But you see the point. Them that sat on the horses, on the missiles, having breastplates of fire, jacinth, and brimstone. And what did she say?
Every direction. Some overlapped one another, and they were even different colors.
They were even different colors. Now let's get this in the NLT. Revelation 9:17 NLT. And in my vision, I saw the horses and the riders, that would be the angels, sitting on them, meaning controlling them. The riders wore armor that was fiery red, dark blue, and yellow. Those are the colors. Meaning what? Because these different countries, they put certain designs and colors on their missiles. And in a sense, this is describing the rainbow. being a reminder from when the Lord flooded the earth, promised to not flood it again with water, but to burn it with fire. And look how Esau blasphemed and profaned the rainbow. What is the Lord's covenant with the earth? With the earth. But yeah, she said the arrows, the missiles had colors. In the NLT, the translation is not perfect, but the point is it goes into the colors. And that's what she saw, signifying that these missiles gonna be coming from all these different countries.
The lines in the sky reminded me of lightsabers from Star Wars. They lit up the sky because there were just so many of them.
You heard that. Let's get that again.
And they were even different colors. The lines in the sky reminded me of lightsabers from Star Wars.
She said they reminded her of lightsabers. You know what a lightsaber is if you saw Star Wars. It's a sword that glows. It lights up. She said it reminded her of lightsabers. But keep in mind here, it said that the missiles are going to be different colors. Not only are the missiles painted different colors, but as they're shot over here, they're going to glow in the sky like a lightsaber. And even when they glow, they're going to be different colors. So we got a few videos we're going to get into. So we're going to start with this one. Keep in mind, she said they look like lightsabers. Now, let's start with this video right here. Iran's Fatta 2 hypersonic missile strikes synagogue. Now, look what it say down here. No air defense on Earth can stop this weapon. That's why 2nd Ezra 16:13 said, his arrows, meaning the missiles, he shooteth are sharp and shall not miss. Nothing can stop this weapon. Now look how fast this weapon is, this missile. And notice it's going to look like a lightsaber. And notice that Revelation 9:17 in the NLT say some of them are going to be fiery red. But look at this. Not only going into the paint, but how they glow in the sky as they're shot to America or anywhere else. You couldn't even see that. You couldn't even see it. How you gonna stop something like that? That's why 2nd Ezra 16:13 say his arrows that he shooteth are sharp and shall not miss. That's not gonna miss. But let's look at another video. You're gonna see many of them being shot. See that? And thus I saw the horses. And look at what it say. The armors wore armor that was fiery red. This is not literal. But you see the missile here is fiery red. But let's go back to the video.
From every direction, some overlapped one another, and they were even different colors. The lines in the sky reminded me of lightsabers from Star Wars. They lit up the sky.
She said they reminded her of lightsabers. That's what this is right here. Don't they look like lightsabers? Ain't they lighting up the sky? Let's get a precept on that. This is the book of Nahum, chapter 3. We're going to start at verse 1. Woe to the bloody city. It is full of lies and robbery, and the prey departeth not. This bloody city that's full of lies and robbery is America. The noise of a whip and the noise of the rattling of the wheels and the prancing horses and of the jumping chariots. This is the metaphor of the missiles being loaded up and shot off. The horseman lifteth up the bright sword and the glittering spear. This is the bright sword and glittering spear. A bright sword, meaning it lights up, it glows, it look like it's on fire. The glittering spear. When something is glittering, it means it's giving off light. It's lighting up. And what does a spear look like? An arrow. And what does an arrow look like? A missile. And what's a missile? It's just a flying sword. It's a sword that flies and explodes on contact. The horseman lifteth up the bright sword and the glittering spear. There is a multitude of slain and a great number of carcasses, and there is none in of their corpses, they stumble upon their corpses. So it's gonna be everybody in America gonna die, pretty much. Whoever here, when the nukes are shut off to America, everybody gonna die. That's why I said there is a multitude of the slain, a great number of corpses, and no end to their corpses. Let's get another one. Habakkuk 3 and 11. The sun and moon stood still in their habitation. At the light of thine arrows they went, and at the shining of thy glittering spear. You see that? A glittering spear? That's a missile. Like this is another one. Iran's Fatta 2 hypersonic missile dodges interceptors at Mach 15 with ease. So this is 15 times faster than the speed of sound. You can barely see it. I'm trying to pause it on it, but when you look at this video, this is the light of thine arrows. Arrows that light up. They glow. They light up the sky. And at the shining of thy glittering spear. When something is glittering, it means it's shining. It's glowing. This is what we're looking at. This is what the lady saw. Now let's go back to her video.
Some overlapped one another, and they were even different colors. The lines in the sky reminded me of lightsabers from Star Wars. They lit up the sky because there were just so many of them.
Lit up the sky because there was so many of them. Now look at this video. And you see, it lit up the sky. It's bright. Oh, then she said they were different colors because the first one, they was red. But you see over here, now they kind of orange. You see that? As they coming down, they orange. And that's Revelation 9 and 17. And you see it's lighting up the sky. But let's continue with her video.
I got the impression that we were being bombarded and attacked by different countries.
We were being bombarded and attacked by different countries. That is correct. This is the book of Jeremiah, chapter 50, verse 9. For lo, I will raise and cause to come up against Babylon. This is dealing with America, Babylon the Great, an assembly of great nations from the North Country, that's Russia. These great countries, great nations, North Korea, China, Iran, Russia, even the European countries. They all gonna come up against Babylon, which is America. And they shall set themselves in array against her. You see that? Against. From thence she shall be taken, meaning overthrown. Their arrows shall be as of a mighty expert man, none shall return in vain. So what does it mean from a mighty expert man? Meaning these arrows gonna be shot from the future militaries of the world, from these great nations. And what it say? None shall return in vain. So the arrows, they not gonna malfunction. They not gonna fall out the sky. They not gonna blow up prematurely. They not gonna miss. They not gonna hit each other. They not gonna be intercepted. None shall return in vain. Every missile they got will be shot off and they all gonna hit. Because the angels gonna be guiding them. But these are the arrows shot from a mighty expert man. These are really the Lord's weapons. Because look at the kind of firepower these nations playing with. The Lord gave these nations something to play with.
The U.S. impression that they lit up being bombarded and attacked by different countries. I got the impression that we were being bombarded and attacked by different countries.
And again, that's Jeremiah 50 and 14. Put yourselves in array against Babylon round about, all ye that bend a bow. All you that got missiles that can touch America, shoot at her, spare no arrows. So yeah, America gonna be getting attacked from all sides.
The USA was under attack. Now, I'm standing in my backyard. It is nighttime. I'm seeing everything take place, and I really believe that this is happening.
Allow me to make a solemn promise. This will be the last pair of glasses you ever need to buy. Introducing the brand.
I could see colors.
She said she could see colors. She saw orange. She saw red. She saw, yellow. She saw white. She saw blue. Because the missiles, they painted in different colors, but they gonna give off different colors as they glow and glitter and shine as they're being shot.
I could see colors. I could feel my feelings. I had awareness to tell people it started. My heart was racing, and I remember I went back into the house and I yelled to my son, "It started. World War III has started. We need to call people and shelter together. We need cover." To my surprise, my son's response was, "It's okay, Mom," insinuating he hadn't seen what I saw, but I think he was insinuating that it wasn't that bad and that it would soon die down. To which I replied, "Now check this out."
And when America begins to be attacked, the scriptures of Revelation 18 tell you that all of America is going to be leveled, ground zero, a desert, in 60 minutes. So once it starts to attack, it's not going to be no running and telling people and calling people and trying to make preparations and hide and gather things. It's going to be none of that.
To which I replied, "No, this is how it starts. And then the ground invasion happens next."
That's not the fate of America. It's not going to be attacked by missiles or nuclear missiles and then invaded. So America is going to be invaded first. Now, as it's being invaded, it may be attacked by cruise missiles and smaller missiles, but the nuclear destruction of America, there's no invasion that comes after. Once the nuclear missiles begin to be shot to America, that's it. But, America being invaded and attacked by smaller cruise missiles at the same time, that's possible. So we're going to show the result of America being attacked because it's not going to be that people hiding out in a shelter after the missiles, they start trying to grow food and rebuild society. It's gonna be none of that. And we gonna go here. Revelation, actually, the book of Isaiah, chapter 13. We're going to start at verse 17. Behold, I will stir up the Medes against them. This is dealing with Russia. Which shall not regard silver, and as for gold, they shall not delight in it. Their bows also shall dash the young men to pieces. They shall have no pity on the fruit of the womb. Their eyes shall not spare children. Them arrows, them bows. It's not going to care who they hit. And Babylon, the glory of kingdoms. This is dealing with America. The beauty of Chaldees' excellency shall be as when God overthrew Sodom and Gomorrah. So we know when the Lord overthrew Sodom and Gomorrah, he rained fire on Sodom and Gomorrah. It was an aerial attack. And that aerial attack, fire raining on America, well, it's going to be by nuclear war. And we know Sodom and Gomorrah, nobody survived. And that's the fate of America. Nobody's going to survive. Nobody going to come from underground. Nobody going to come from a nuclear shelter and get up and start brushing dust and ashes off their windows. Ain't going to be nobody getting out trying to clean up and rebuild America and start planting seeds and whatever else. Shall be as when God overthrew Sodom and Gomorrah, it shall never be inhabited. America gonna be destroyed with no inhabitant left. Neither shall it be dwelt in from generation to generation. Neither shall the Arabian pitch tent there. Neither shall the shepherds make their foes there. So when America's destroyed, that's it. It's not gonna be inhabited. Nobody's gonna live here ever again.
I don't know why and then the ground invasion happens next. I don't know why I said that, but those are the words that came out of my mouth. I then called my dear friend whose name.
So the point is, America being invaded, it most likely will be attacked, again from smaller missiles. But once it goes nuclear, there is no invasion that comes after. There will be nothing left.
Means beloved. I said, my friend, World War III has started. And of course, I'm not speaking calmly, right? I'm like, as I'm on the phone with her, I'm noticing now that I'm standing inside of her condo. She's not home. I continued, you need to hurry up and get home. As I'm talking, I realize that she has a large window. So think penthouse at the very top of a building. I'm observing outside of this large wall window where I can see everything taking place outside. I saw everything so clearly. There were different types of missiles, warplanes, drones, and all this activity looked like it.
And that's what it was just showing. She said they looked like lightsabers in the sky. The scripture spoke about glittering spears, the light of dying arrows. As a matter of fact, let's jump here real quick. This is the book of Jeremiah, chapter 51, verse 11. Look at this. Make bright the arrows, gather the shields. The Lord have raised up the spirits of the king of the Medes, America, for his device is against Babylon. The kings of the Medes would be Russia. For his device, meaning his determination, is against Babylon, America, to destroy it. Because it is the vengeance of the Lord and the vengeance of his temple. But look, it says, make bright the arrows. Meaning what? Fire off the missiles. Fire off the nukes. And like arrows, they're going to fly to America, but they're going to be glowing. They're going to be bright, different colors, light up the sky. Almost like a chaotic kind of rainbow. Since Esau like to do gay shit with the rainbow.
In the sky. There was one particular missile that was coming up towards the condo. It was coming upward and had a flat head with a dome in the center. I was mesmerized. I was just watching. I didn't even move. I'm just watching this thing coming right at me from the window. And I'm just paused. I'm just staring at it in complete shock. As I'm watching it, it goes like over my head, and then it goes on top of the building, grazing the top of the building. I'm watching this in disbelief. I said to my friend on the phone, "Oh my goodness."
And once all these different countries start attacking America again, there's nothing that comes after it. And you're not gonna just be sitting on the side somewhere watching the destruction happen. Everything, everybody, everywhere in America will be destroyed. You're not gonna have time to have a conversation. You're not gonna say ah. You're gonna say way more than that. You're not gonna have time to call nobody. You're not even gonna be thinking about nobody. That's how bad it's gonna be. She said she saw it, but her son didn't, who was in the house. No, everybody gonna see it. Everybody gonna hear it. Everybody gonna feel it. No, nobody gonna be left out.
It's going to hit us. And sorry, that's actually when, as soon as the words came out of my mouth, that's when the missile flew right on top of the condo, brazing it. I continued on my call. My friend, you need to come and get your suitcase, get whatever you can out of here, and come with me to my place. I think this building will be destroyed. As I'm on the phone with her, I notice that there's a second window on the side.
Everything gonna be destroyed again. There would be no calling. There would be no driving. There would be no packing up bags, going to hide out somewhere. Look what Isaiah 13 said. Babylon, the glory of kingdoms, the beauty of the Chaldees' excellency, shall be as when God overthrew Sodom and Gomorrah. He rained fire, nobody survived, everything was completely destroyed. It shall never be inhabited, neither shall it be dwelt in from generation to generation. Nobody will be left alive in America. Neither will anybody ever live here again. Because when you go into ancient Sodom and Gomorrah, even to this day, that land is desolate. It can't be inhabited. Nothing can grow there. Nothing can live there.
Catty corner to the first one. And I observed the exact same thing taking place on that window as well. There are arrows everywhere in the sky from different directions, and they're different.
Arrows everywhere in the sky. Again, that's the book of Jeremiah, chapter 50, verse 14. Put yourselves in array against Babylon, which is America, round about. All you that bend a bow, shoot at her, spare no arrows, for she hath sinned against the Lord. And that's what you see. No arrows being spared. And then really, some of what we see, they could be the laser beams from the chariots, what the world calls UFOs. That's the glittering sword uh, as well.
Colors. They looked almost like lasers or something like that. They were flying objects everywhere, airplanes.
That's a spirit. She said some of them look like lasers, because some of them are lasers. Matter of fact, we're going to have to go there. This is the book of Luke, chapter 12, verse 49. I am come to send fire on the earth. This is red letter writing. The Lord said he is come to send fire on the earth. And what will I if it be already kindled? What's the fire being already kindled? World War III. So the Lord gonna join the battle too. And let's come here to the book of Isaiah, chapter 66. Haven't been here in a while. Maybe verse 15. For behold, the Lord will come with fire. Excuse me. For the Lord will come with fire, and with his chariots like a whirlwind. The world calls you a foe. To render his anger with fury and his rebuke with flames of fire. For by fire and by his sword will the Lord plead with all flesh. To plead means to judge in the Hebrew. And the slain of the Lord shall be many. So the Lord coming with his own kind of fire and his own kind of sword. A sword, just a broad term for a weapon or weaponry. And the Lord's weapon of choice is a form of fire, concentrated fire, what we call laser beams here in the earth, which is where Esau is inspired to make laser weapons now. That's why he put it in the movies. He got it from the scriptures.
Bomb looking things, missiles. I remember thinking that I needed to have my family together, looking at that. Different directions, and they're different colors. Oh, there are arrows everywhere in the sky from different directions, and they're different colors. They looked almost like lasers or something like that. They were flying objects everywhere, airplanes, bomb looking things, missiles. I remember thinking,
She said it all. She said arrows, lasers, missiles. That's a judgment of the great whore, America.
I needed to have my family together because there was power and strength in numbers. I felt we would be safe. And
So when America's destroyed, your feelings and the strength in numbers and the power of love ain't gonna save. Now, she said something else. Let me go back.
color. They looked almost like lasers or something like that. They were flying objects everywhere, airplanes, bomb looking things, missiles. I remember.
She said there was stuff all over the sky. Everything was everywhere. And then she starts talking about she wants to get her family. So let's go to the book of Wisdom of Solomon 16 and 15. But it is not possible to escape thine hand. For this is dealing with ancient Egypt, but this is dealing with spiritual Egypt too, which is America. For the ungodly that denied to know thee were scourged by the strength of thine arm. Look at this, with strange rains, hails, and showers. Then when she said stuff was all over the sky, that's what she saw. Strange rains, strange hails, and strange showers. Everything all over the sky coming down on America. Strange rains. And showers where they persecuted that they could not avoid. And through fire were they consumed. So strange rains in the spirit in this lifetime gonna be the missiles. The strange hails gonna be the missiles, the bombs, the strange showers, again the missiles, the laser beams, everything coming down on America. Then what it say? Were they persecuted that they could not avoid. So you can't avoid this fire. You can't avoid this judgment. It ain't no strength in numbers. The power of love ain't gonna save you. You're not gonna camp out and hide out somewhere. You're not gonna be able to call nobody or warn nobody or drive anywhere. What it say that they could not avoid.
Airplanes, bomb looking things, missiles. I remember thinking that I needed to have my family together because there was power and strength in numbers. I felt we would be safe and protected in my home.
And that's where Christianity fails. It's a bunch of I feels and I believe. We know over here. We don't feel nothing. We don't believe nothing. We know. Um, and the only thing that will save in that time is Yahweh Shah. Read the scriptures. It said, "Were they persecuted? They could not avoid." As a matter of fact, we gonna go here too. We gonna go to the book of Jeremiah, chapter 50, verse 3, because people don't seem to understand. how severe this judgment is going to be. And if for wisdom of Solomon compared it to strange rains, the rain is everywhere. The rain comes from every which direction to the point when it's hailing and showering. The rain gets everywhere. It covers everything. That's how this destruction going to be. That's why Jeremiah 15:3 said this: For out of the north there cometh up a nation against her. This is dealing with the Medes, Russia today. Look at this. Which shall make her land desolate. Who is to her? Lady Liberty, the gray whore, the United States of America. And what does it mean, desolate? Meaning it's not a survivor left. Look at this. None shall dwell therein. There's going to be no living people here. Nobody's going to dwell here. Isaiah said from generation to generation. Look at this. They shall remove, meaning they're going to die. They shall depart, meaning they're going to die. Look at this. Both man and beast. So the judgment is going to be so severe, man and beast going to die. Man and animal. All the birds, all the squirrels, all the chickens, all the cats, all the dogs, all the people. Because everything has been defiled by Esau Edom, the so-called white man. Everything is GMO, heavy medicals, nanoparticles, microplastics, forever chemicals. All of us got traces of cancer that we carry and will pass on to the next generation. But let's get this in the NLT. All right, for a nation would attack her from the north, meaning the destruction will be spearheaded by the Medes, which is Russia, and bring such destruction that no one will live there again. Everything will be gone. So what is she talking about? Strength in numbers. They feel that she would be safe in her home. What makes her home so special? No, everything is marked in America for destruction. Your only way out is up. You just gotta not be here. For a nation will attack her from the north and bring such destruction that no one will live there again. Everything will be gone. Both people and animals. You can drop the last part because there's no fleeing this place. Everything will be gone, both people and animals. Everything about to be wiped out here. Oh, and I guess that's it. But I think I got a few more precepts in my notes. We also gonna get this. This gonna be the book of First Thessalonians, chapter 5. We're gonna start at verse 2. For yourselves know perfectly that the day of the Lord so cometh as a thief in the night. Meaning what? People gonna be unaware. For when they shall say peace and safety, then sudden destruction cometh upon them. We keep seeing they keep having peace talks. The peace talks always fail, then the war is escalated. As travail upon a woman with child, and they shall not escape. There is no happy ending here. There is no new beginning here. And why it's going to come as a thief in the night to the people? Because they don't understand prophecy. They don't got the testimony of Yahweh Shah. They're going to think themselves to be in a good case, but the destruction is going to be sudden. And we can show that in the book of Isaiah 47:1 or 47:11. This probably be the last one. Therefore shall evil come upon thee, and thou shalt not know from whence it riseth. So the evil that's going to come is the nuclear destruction. And what it say? You're not going to know from whence it riseth. Because in order for the missiles to come down on America, first they got to go up. They got to rise up. And look at this. And mischief shall fall upon thee. So when the evil rises up, it's going to come back down. That's why you got the word rise, and you got the word fall upon thee on America. Thou shalt not be able to put it off. You can't escape it. You can't put it off. You can't delay it. And desolation, meaning no survivors, shall come upon thee suddenly, which thou shalt not know. So yeah, that's how everybody gonna be taken, cause it's gonna be a surprise to everybody. Which she said that I believe I thought it was somewhere here. Hold on.
This is what is going through my mind right now. This is not stopping. This is what we were warned about in the Bible. There's a part of me that just wants to cry reading this because I saw this and I'm feeling all of these feelings in my vision. Babylon falling in 1 hour is what we were warned about. This was the start of World War III. It came to our backyard, and there was nothing we could do to stop it.
And when America's destroyed, that's the end of World War III, pretty much. Other than that, after that, you gonna have the other nations pretty much trying to fight against the Lord. So that's gonna be the towards the end of World War III because it already began back in 2022.
The attack was so strong and it was with such force. We were being ambushed by different countries, and there was nothing.
Ambushed by different countries. Again, that's we gonna hit Jeremiah, I think 50:9. I might get it in the NLT as well. I will raise the cause up against Babylon, and the assembly of great nations from the north country, and they shall set themselves in array against her. That's an ambush. From thence she shall be taken. That's an ambush. Their arrows shall be as of a mighty expert man, none shall return in vain. Let's get this in the NLT. Jeremiah 50:9. For I am raising up an army of great nations from the north. They will join forces to attack Babylon. That's the ambush. And she will be captured. Not literally captured, but destroyed. The enemy's arrows will go straight to the mark. They will not miss. And that's 2 Ezra 16:13. His arrows that he shooteth are sharp and shall not miss. You can't stop a hypersonic missile. Can't stop that. And then when you come to this video, look at this.
Crap, Iran has launched a Karam Shar missile. 80 separate warheads were able to get into Tel Aviv, and all of them had a direct hit. Here is another of this insane scene.
You see that? He said all of them had a direct hit. But the NLT say the enemy's arrows, the missiles, will go straight to the mark. They will not miss.
This, once it detonates, is impossible to even try to shoot down. And the Israelis don't really know how many of these the Iranians have. Could be one, could be 1,000. This right here is the scene in Tel Aviv.
So he said one missile split up into 80 warheads. That's in the scriptures as well. Let's go back to the book of Revelation, chapter 9, maybe verse 18. Verse 17. I actually did finish this. And thus I saw the horses in a vision, and them that sat on them having breastplates of fire, jacinth, and brimstone. Look at this. And the heads of the horses, this talking about the missiles, were as the heads of lions. Because when a lion opened a mouth, they got the teeth. And in this case, that would be the missile that opens up to release many warheads. Like he said, this missile released 80 warheads. Now look at this.
Crap, Iran has launched a Karam Shar missile. 80 separate warheads were able to get into Tel Aviv, and all of them had a direct hit.
The horses were as the heads of lions. Because the lion got the teeth would be the warheads. Lions got many sharp teeth, and this got many warheads. And out of their mouth, meaning once the missile opened up, issued fire, smoke, and brimstone. So when the missile opens up, it's going to release the warheads, which are like the teeth of a lion, that's going to issue fire, smoke, and brimstone.
do about it. It was a surprise attack. Even our government was surprised because they were nowhere to be seen. Our government was not there.
That's what I wanted. She said it was a surprise even to the government. That's First Thessalonians. The day of the Lord comes as a thief in the night, when they shall say peace and safety, because the American government may think they at peace. They may think they finally worked out something. But what did the book of Obadiah say in the NLT? Those who pretend to be your allies, they're going to deceive you and destroy you. So I guess we're going to pull that out. This is the book of Obadiah, maybe 1 and 7. Let's get into NLT. All your allies will turn against you. They will help to chase you from your land. They will promise you peace while plotting to deceive and destroy you. Your trusted friends will set traps for you and you won't even know about it. That's what the lady said. That even the American government didn't know about it.
We were being ambushed by different countries and there was nothing we could do about it. It was a surprise attack. Even our government was surprised because...
Yep, even the government gonna be surprised. And that's also Isaiah 47:1. Hold on. Evil shall come upon thee, thou shalt not know from whence it riseth, and mischief shall fall upon thee, thou shalt not be able to put it off. Desolation shall come upon thee suddenly. So it's gonna be sudden. A catastrophe will strike you suddenly, one for which you are not prepared.
They were nowhere to be seen. Our government was not there. It was a planned attack against us, and we were caught unaware. I felt that I was the only one speaking reason to everyone.
Unaware or not prepared. And yeah, this is a planned attack against America. But it's the Lord that's planning it, putting it to the minds of these nations. And yeah, the American government gonna be in their underground bunkers. Of course they're not gonna be there.
It's like, this is not a drill, guys. This is not going to go back to what it used to be. This is how it starts, and then the ground invasion happens next.
There is no invasion after these countries begin to attack America. They know you can't give America no room to respond. And this is the Lord's vengeance. Forget how the countries feel, rather how much they dislike or hate America. It's the Lord that's against this place.
I'm still on the phone with my friend, and she asked me about her dogs. Like, she has 2 dogs, 2 small dogs, and I have...
I guess we done here. She ain't talking about nothing. She talking about she's steady on the phone. It ain't gonna be no phones working. But the Lord said people will have dreams and visions, but that's why the Lord got men to break down people's dreams and visions. To put things correctly, to make sense of it. But that's the lesson. The glittering spear, bright arrows, World War III, nuclear destruction, coming to America. Lord willing, as a form of edifying. Till next time, Shalom.